You guys, hope you're doing good. So in today's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through a client acquisition that I use $500,000 cold email system build, the 2.0 version, right? Now, this is going to be the first time that we offer the ability to access this mechanism without having to be in our program, right? So we had gated this mechanism for now the last, I'd say 3 months. We were only offering it, building it for clients who are in our main program as part of the deliverables that we as part of the infrastructure that we built within their companies to be able to help them scale their businesses, right? But this 2.0 version is so good that that we actually decided to open it up for the public. So after this video launches, you're going to be able to access it and literally just come in if you want to get access to it. If you want us to build it for you, you can have it built without having to go through our main program, right? Now, in today's video, my goal is to show you how invaluable an automated client acquisition cold email system can be and how you can have one built for you in 4 weeks or less, right? The $500,000 cold email system build was designed with the sole purpose to generate an extra, $500,000 in new ARR for your business. I don't know if you're running an agency or a consultancy, but in 90 to 180 days, we need the system's goal is to generate you an extra 40 to 50K per month, okay? Now, the story behind the mechanism, it's pretty simple. Funny enough, someone yesterday asked me, what is the process around launching new offers and mechanisms within clientacquisition.io, right? And after, when I was building this presentation, I was like, because for me, what I told him was that, we oversee hundreds of offers and client acquisition efforts on different channels, and then whichever generates the best results and outcome for a single client, our duty or my goal is to build a delivery mechanism, a team that can build the same successful thing for hundreds of clients, right? So we have hundreds of clients, right? So my goal is if this works for this client, I'm like, oh my God, how can I allocate capital and resources to build a team that generates the same thing for all my clients? Because, my goal, or if you guys know anything about our messaging, is that we make it unreasonable for our clients not to win. And funny enough, the way that I figure out how to win is when my clients are winning. But then I don't just stop there by just telling you what's working. I actually build a team behind the success, right? But anyway, when I was building this presentation, I realized that our process works just like natural selection, right? Which is, the principle by which each slight variation of a trait, if useful, is preserved, right? So I realized that within our fulfillment team, we're kind of like this natural selection process where if this trait, if this variation works well to keep us alive and to keep our clients successful, then it's the thing that we're going to keep doing and everything else is going to be extinct, right? So our goal is hey, how can we delete as many traits of variation that don't help us and only focus on the traits that actually on the variations that help us, right? So for those who don't know, the way that we we've been able to evolve is by if I'm alive today, is because some of the variations that I have right now have been the most useful ones, right? Because if they were not useful, then it would lead to genes not being able to reproduce themselves and things like that. So the people who are not watching this banger is because they did not have the right variations, right? Anyway, that's a tangent. But anyway, when I first launched the email mechanism a few months ago, the reason why I launched it is because Chris Hernandez, one of our clients, had just added an extra 20K a month in new revenue in a single month, right? And most of it was coming from email outreach. So I was like, whoa, we have an amazing variation here. Let's build on top of it, right? Now, in the last 90 days, I'd say that we've built and launched over 65 cold email systems for members of our program and generated multiple 6 figures in new ARR, annual recurring revenue, okay? Some client wins. We have Eric here, who is still, working a 9 to 5 and joined our program, made sense of joining our program, has had an interested brand wanting to book a call from day one of his email campaign. Joe Hume was doing emails on his end, so he was also killing it with emails. Jan, first meeting booked from Outbound Email, a brand that was doing 100K to 250K per month. E1 got 3 meetings potentially booked today for next week, all via email outreach. So that was good. Chris, 6K a month deal secured with performance. Again, Joe Hume was killing it, 7 meetings booked, again, through email. Haven't touched my script in 3 months. Sean, also killing it, day 1 of cold email. He had a brand wanting to learn more. And then Rasmus went from 30, he's now going to end 30K to 40K per month, depending on how performance turns out. And this is his first full month of leveraging email and VAs within our program. And then, which represents a 50 to 100% increase in revenue in 1 month. He did 20K the previous month, right? So I'm excited for that. And then Lashazar went from 6K per month to 50K per month, and most of his meetings, sales calls were coming from email, right? So that's why when I say that, hey, I needed to figure out a way to duplicate this and actually fulfill for my clients, that's why I built it, because so many success were coming from email as an acquisition channel, right? Now, before I go over the actual process and what's new, I want to tell you guys a little bit more of the before state of our clients, like in what state are most of our clients in before they start working with us, right? So they're relying on one single channel for acquisition. They're struggling, to get, and then, whenever there's an update on that platform, everything breaks, right? So relying on one channel, and they don't really have a play around minimizing the losses whenever the platform shifts, right? They're spending, allocating a lot of money every month on lead generation, appointment setting agencies, or courses, right? Trying to increase the number of both calls per month, but nothing seems to work. They tested every acquisition channel: Facebook, Instagram, email, LinkedIn, and Twitter, but can't make them work. They're struggling to get responses with their cold outreach or cold email, either because their offer is really bad or the copy is too aggressive and they don't realize it, right? They're starting to be low on funds and want to take a break from investing in their acquisition, which is one of the worst mistakes that you can make. Never stop acquisition. I don't care if you're broke. I don't care if you don't have money. Always keep generating attention, because obscurity is the reason why every single person goes broke and fails in business. Do not ever stop acquiring attention, ever, right? Even if you don't have any money, you better be spending 8 hours a day generating attention for your business, right? They're tired of spinning their wheels and just dream of a service that can stop offering a guarantee of a solution when systems or campaigns don't work, right? And instead want someone who can actually build something that guarantees an outcome, the outcome that they want, right? So you guys will probably have worked or have seen a lot of people making promises like, hey, we'll make you a double guarantee if this doesn't work out, blah, 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 blah. You'll have your money back, or you don't even have to pay us. But it's like, why are these people spending more time finessing their way into getting clients and promising a thing where there's zero risk, when people don't want no risk, people want an outcome. So for us, instead of spending time building these $1 billion, I'll pay you if you don't see success, I'd rather spend more time into getting you the outcome that you actually want. Because if you want a guarantee of not losing, then don't be playing in the first place. So if you see anyone who's spending more time trying to promise you a guarantee, it's actually because they haven't spent enough time building, right? Because if they spent enough time, that same time that they spend trying to be great marketers, and instead spend it trying to build something that actually makes it unreasonable for you not to see success, they wouldn't need any guarantees, right? So I say this because I don't care about guarantee. Just do the work and get me some growth, right? I don't care about a guarantee, right? And then the after state of our clients is really simple. Once they work with us, they have multiple acquisition channels running for 1K a month or less, right, in acquisition costs. And they're generating 1 to 10 prospects a day who wants to learn about their services, right? It's all about consistency of attention and interest, right? They don't waste time testing channels. They're guided to the right acquisition channel for their offer and niche, since it's already been proven for hundreds of others, right? So when you work with us, you don't have time to test. Hey, this is what works for your offer. Here is someone else who it's worked for. Do the same thing and just do more of it, right? They're paying with, they're playing with 1 to 10% response rate on the different campaigns, and now have the choice to increase or decrease it depending on the quantity and the quality of the warm leads, right? What I mean by this is our warm lead rate or our response rate on most of our campaigns is always between 1 and 10%, because not only do we improve the offers, but we also look at, at the thing that actually the market actually wants, right? So we don't just try to sell what you're selling, right? We always try to give you something that works, so it actually increases your response rate, right? And then the beautiful thing is that they can now sustain investing in their client acquisition systems for months on end, because now the monthly cost varies between $150 to $1,000 per month, okay? So, and then by the way, this 1K per month is like when you have setters and the cold email together, right? So you end up having to allocate like $1,000, a little bit more or less, to actually have, thousands of outreach every single day done for you, right? They don't have to spin their wheels anymore, since they now have systems and infrastructures that make it unreasonable for them not to generate interest daily for their offers, and a team managing and optimizing their systems for them, right? So when you're working with us, we actually build the infrastructure, but we're also there to help you optimize it, okay? Now, the goal of this new cold email build system is really simple, right? The first one is we need to be doing so much volume that it's unreasonable for clients not to see results, okay? And that's really the whole premise around client acquisition that it's like, what can we do to make it unreasonable for clients not to see results, right? So these are the numbers that can be expected, at least from personal data reference from the person who's leading this department, right? 1,300 emails sent, you should expect 1 call booked, right? So, and then in 1,300 emails, you should get around 2 to 3 positive replies, right? So prospects interested. And if we wanted 40 sales calls, right, we would need to be sending 52,000 emails per month, right? At this metric, right? And if we kept this KPI of like 1,300 emails, gives us 1 book call on average, then for 40 booked calls, we would need to be sending out 52,000 emails. And guess what? This cold email system is going to be sending 50,000 emails per month, right? And if you're getting 40 calls booked, 75 to 80% show up rate on standard outbound is 30 to 32 sales calls that actually show up that you get to speak to over the phone, right? And if you have a 20% closing rate, which is standard, you have 6 to 8 new clients per month, right? Now, if you have a 5K offer, that's $30,000 to $40,000 in sales every month, right? Now, does this mean that you're going to add an extra 30, 40K in the first month of launching this? No. This is when everything has been dialed in and everything is optimized. Then, for sure, you can definitely add this type of revenue, because the volume is insane, right? That's the first thing, is like, how much volume do you actually need? We've realized that in order to really make it unreasonable for clients not to see success, 50,000 emails a month is a minimum, right? Is a requirement. And then that's the first thing. So volume is solved. Now, the other objection that a lot of people have to not scaling their business is, I don't have a lot of funds to I don't have funds to pay VAs. I don't have funds to pay to buy these systems and things like that. But then the goal was, how can we make this system affordable to a kid in high school, right? So the beautiful thing of this system is that you pay once for the build and you own it forever. You don't need to pay any other agency or setter or even ourselves after it's been built. You can manage it for you. And the beautiful thing, again, is that the monthly tech cost is just between $120 to $220 per month, right? I would say $250 just to round it up. But guys, you get the build. The goal is like, how can you own this infrastructure and use it as you please? That's the whole goal, right? Now, if you are out there wondering and just like lost, and you're not doing acquisition because you feel like you always need to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars, that's not true. This is affordable for everyone, right? And I would have loved to have this when I started out, right? I mean, I'm actually launching my own e-campaign using this system, because why not? And then the other thing is that the other objection that someone may have to not getting the thing that they want in life is, I don't have time to manage this whole thing. Well, the beautiful thing is you only need 30 minutes or less of daily management, right? You don't need to manage multiple setters. You don't need to jump on a bunch of calls or review their work or do all this management of people. All you need is to spend 30 minutes per day cleaning your inbox and get back to prospects who have showed interest for your offer. So it's really simple. A bunch of emails are set up, leads for you. You send them out. You get a bunch of interest every single day. And all you do is like, hey, send a booking link to all these people. We're going to be showing you how to convert them onto a sales call, but that's literally it, right? Everything is as systematized as possible, right? Now, what's new with the $500,000 cold system compared to the old process that we had? Well, the first thing is that, which is actually the most important thing, right? Because one thing I've learned in life is that the person leading something is more important than the thing itself. Meaning, client acquisition.io is what it is today, not because of the marketplace, not because of other things. It's because I'm leading this company and I'm the one who makes it work, right? So my goal was that, hey, how can I find the best talent to run this department? Because again, my goal is to build an 8-9 figure company. So I'm generally building teams of leaders, teams of experts who can actually lead different verticals within client acquisition.io, right? And the beautiful thing is that the person running this department who's actually taking care of the setups used to work for one of the most successful outbound prospecting and scaling course company for the SaaS niche, which is salesprocess.io. He used to work with Nick Cosman, and I learned probably everything that I know today. I'd say like 80% everything I know around outbound prospecting from Nick Cosman. So funny enough, I've ended up hiring one of his old consultants who was actually building and consulting thousands of clients who were actually running SaaS businesses, right? So that's the first thing. I think that's exciting. I'm not sure about you guys, but it's really exciting. Again, the other thing is that volume of outreach has 4x. So we're sending around, before we were aiming to send 12,000 emails per month. Now we're going to be sending 50,000, right? So the last system could guarantee a few sales calls per month, but this 2.0 version guarantees clients every month, right? Even if the campaign isn't as great, right? Because the volume is literally insane, right? Custom tracking, we're going to be taking care of setting up custom tracking to avoid using someone else's tracking domain, which can be risky as someone else in that pool can be spamming people, which would make our reputation go down in our email accounts as well, right? Inbox management, we're going to be managing the campaign for each client for 2 weeks. So this is a 4-week process. The last 2 weeks is management for your campaign as we launch it. And we're also going to be showing each client how to generate sales calls for every 3 positive replies, right? So 1 out of 3 positive replies should turn into a sales call following our process. We're going to be getting every single client to have a booking funnel build, right? So every client will be provided a booking funnel template on Go High Level in order to make sure that the PR, the positive reply from positive reply to calls conversion rate is as high as possible. Because what a prospect sees outside of your email is as important as the email itself when it comes to converting them into a sales call, right? So as an example, today, I guess my outreach is more successful because when I DM people and they see everything that is outside of the outreach itself, they're like, whoa, who's this guy, right? So we're going to build in a lot of authority on that funnel. If you don't have a funnel with a lot of proof, maybe a video sales letter, a lot of case studies, all that good stuff, then you're gonna need it. Because maybe the reason why you're not booking calls is because when people will see your DM and end up checking you out online, they're like, who is this guy? Does he even have a company, right? There's no presence. So we're gonna be helping you build that. Redirects, prospects weren't booking calls before. Now all interested prospects will be booking calls because we're going to reroute all domains to one domain which has a website or a landing page. So instead of returning an error, it will reroute to the main website. Okay. Copy. We now have tested a tremendous amount of copy and have figured out the best copy structure for many different offers. Therefore, we will be writing bangers for your campaigns. Data, initial campaigns, we didn't have much data, but now we've ran over 60 campaigns, and we know how to target better, right? We know which audiences work better, right? So we've done the work that we didn't have the experience before, right? Because before we're just leveraging highly just focused on social outreach, but now we have data that we can make so we can make data-driven decisions, right? So this is about internet data because again, this just makes sense. Now, for me, one of the biggest component of this thing is the cost to actually run this thing, right? So prior to this update, there was a huge upfront cost to buying all the softwares, right, needed to run and manage the system. But with this 2.0 version, it will be costing you just $120, maybe the most $150 to have the tech that you need to keep running it, right? And then the first month we will actually be providing you with leads, so you won't actually have to pay for leads, because once you get the build, we give you enough leads for the first 4 weeks, so that you don't have to go buying leads elsewhere before you can actually get a return on the build itself, right? But once the first month is done, then your average cost to, if you, let's say you add an extra $100 a month to get a platform where you can source the leads, then it's going to go to $220, $250 per month, which is also still pretty affordable, right? But there's also another benefit with the scaling part, because if the cost is low to actually run this, then that means that the cost to even scale is even crazy, like it's actually really low, right? So before you had the upfront cost of like, hey, you need to buy a bunch of softwares and domains and users for like $1,200 a year upfront, versus now you're only going to be needing to pay $20 a month for the same thing, right? To scale up to 150,000 emails sent per month, it would have costed you maybe like 3.6K a year upfront. But today, with this new system, you're only going to be spending $60 per month if you wanted to scale, of course, to 150,000 email sends per month. But for now, when you get it, it's going to be $20 per month, right? That's 60 times cost savings, even if you want to scale to 150,000 emails per month, right? Once you have the system built, you don't need to stick to 50,000 emails per month. We'll be showing you how to scale it past 100,000 emails to 150,000 emails per month. And imagine having the ability to send out 2,000 to 6,000 emails per day and only having it cost you less than $300 per month, which is pretty fascinating, right? And then even if you wanted to scale to 300,000 emails sent per month, it would only be an extra $160 per month, which is crazy, right? And then you'll also be getting access, right? This is also an amazing benefit. You're going to be getting access to training material directly from the $500,000 program, and we're going to be building more assets for this system itself, right? You're going to be getting access to weekly support consulting calls from the email team for 1 month. Okay, again, this is a 4-week process. And then you're also going to be getting access to specific channels on Discord for 1 month. So you're actually going to be joining the $500,000 community Discord. So that will be really cool. So you get access, a little bit of access to me, to all the team. And you'll get to see how other sharks are doing, right? And then the fulfillment process is really simple. There's an onboarding call. We go over the process, expectations, look at your offer, the targeting, all that good stuff, the setup process, the DNS records. We warm up your domain for 14 days, craft your copy, source the leads, clean and verify them. We're going to be getting you 10,000 leads or close to that in the first, once we actually get you the system, right? So you can have, you can be sending cold emails for the following, 2 to 4 weeks. Again, the warm up takes 14 days. So that's why it's super important for, if you want this thing to start as soon as possible, because there is a 2-week delay of doing nothing really, at least on your end, and no activity. So the sooner you start, the sooner you actually start sending your campaigns. There's a launch call once the campaign is warmed up. We'll give you a walkthrough of the system, how to manage it, expectations, troubleshooting, everything you need to know, right? And then once it's launched, after the 2 week of warm up, we'll actually have 2 weeks of management where we do weekly reporting for you. We'll give you a daily report on the positive replies that you received, and then you'll get access to the support calls, you'll get access to campaign optimization calls, all that good stuff, right? So that's really simple, right? It's a 4-week process again. Now, if you want to access this banger of a system, it's really simple. Find the link below, apply, and then if you can, book a 15-minute walkthrough session, right? We're going to be opening a few more slots this week, right? because we, as we get closer to like Christmas, we're gonna also take a break. So like the sooner you start, the sooner we get to actually launch and we get your results before the year actually even ends, right? So you need to start the new year, with a little bit more fun, so if you know what I mean, right? Yeah, if we have the bandwidth, right, we'll get you onboarded. If we do not, so that's after you've gone through the walkthrough session and everything makes sense for you, then, we'll onboard you. If we do not have the bandwidth, right, you'll be put on the waiting list, since as I announced this, right, we're projecting to have at least 200 applicants in the first week. Therefore, if you want it built and launched as soon as possible, you better be part of the first batch of people to book a walkthrough session once this video goes live, right? Last time we did it, we had, in the first month, we had like 50, builds, and it takes time, right? This is a lot of time. One thing that I didn't show you guys is that we're going to be setting up 100 different sending emails, right? Like 100 users. So we're going to be doing a lot of manual work to set this whole thing up. So that's why it's not really scalable. It can't scale infinitely, right? So it's, just to create a little bit of urgency, it's like the first come, first serve. But there are some people who will generally have to wait till January next year for us to even build this thing out for them. So if you want to, again, the beautiful thing, this is really the main things, right? How can you send a lot of outreach every single month, have it cost you close to nothing a month, right? And have it cost you almost no time in daily management, right? Which this, by the way, can be delegated to a VA, so you don't need to be doing it, right? So it's like 50,000 emails per month sent, a few $100 a month in cost to keep this thing running, and only 30 minutes a day or less to actually convert every single interest into a booked call, right? So if you want to get this cold email built that you would own 2 weeks, 4 weeks from now, then book a call and let's get you some more attention, let's get you some money. And thank you again so much. Appreciate you, and hopefully one day I'll get to see you and get to meet you and help you scale your business. Again, I appreciate you. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye. Book a call.